What's good, Commanders fans, and happy Sunday. Just want to preview this Commanders versus Bengals preseason game, Monday Night Football. One of our primetime games, even though it is just a preseason game. They even gave us this, somewhat of a rematch from last year. Like I said, it's preseason, but they still just want us on there and want to feature Jaden Daniels in his first series or a couple of series that he's going to do against the Bengals. So, of course, this is it just reminds us of Jaden's putting the world on notice game last year. Cam Taylor-Britt. I don't know if he's still on their team. Let me pull up their depth chart. But I just want to go over some position battles as well. Players to watch. Probably like I always say like 5 players to watch. It ends up being like 20 players that I name and list because it's still a 90-man roster. So there's so many people that I want to see. Even guys that I know that are not going to make the roster. Even like Braylon Sanders from the DC Defenders. I want to see him, of course. Big Play Tay. I want to see him. So even guys like Casimir Allen, like I'm intrigued to see what he does because he's fumbled the ball a few times in previous preseason games. And they just keep him around. Cole Turner, like just random guys that are on the team that I still want to keep my eyes on in that third and fourth quarter if I stay awake that long for the backups, which I will be up. Actually, I did fall asleep in that Patriots game, but I woke back up. It was awful. It was a hard watch. That last quarter, it was like I could not stay awake. I fell asleep. But let me see if Cam Taylor-Britt is still on their roster real quick. Is he still on the roster? I don't see. Oh, he is. He is their starting corner. Geno Stone is their other corner. Or no, he's their free safety. Who's their other corner? DJ Turner. They are still one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and they are. It looks like they may actually trade Trey Hendrickson. They said they are listening to offers this morning, so that is a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen, but. You know, our situation is way better than the Trey Hendricks situation. Is way better than the Micah Parsons situation for sure. That's a fact that I think we all can agree on for sure. With Terry McLaurin. All right, so let's start with the offense here. So, of course, let's go with the people that are out. Terry McLaurin is out. Noah Brown's out. Marcus Mariota's out. Laramie Tunsil's out. Zach Ertz, no yak Zach. Sam Cosmi, of course, out. Brandon Coleman out. Bobby Wagner out. Von Miller out. Joe McGee out. Javonte John Baptiste is out. John Jones on defense is out. So the good news for the defense, even though I want to talk about the offense first, is that means Marshawn is going to play. Of course, Trey Amos is going to play. Mikey again. Noah I. A lot of the defenders are going to play. Daron Payne is going to play. He's a legitimate starter. Javon Kinlaw is somebody that I really, really want to see. So he's going to be playing. So there's a lot of big names and starters that are going to be playing. This is our dress rehearsal before the season starts because we don't have the joint practice, unfortunately, which I really think we needed or could have used against the Ravens. That was canceled. I'm disappointed in that, but it is what it is. I think we'll be ready for the season anyway, but it would have helped. So there's some starters that are going to play. Deebo Samuel. All right, so let's start with the offense. So Jaden Daniels, I only want to see him for a few series, maybe the whole first quarter, if that. We'll see. The Bengals are going to score in the first quarter, most likely. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. We know how that game went last year on Monday Night Football. It was a shootout, 41-38. I think we won, 41-35, something like that, or 38-31. So they're just going to put up, like Joe Witt Jr. said, you're going to get beat by Jamar Chase. It's just going to happen. But to get back to the offensive side, I want to see Jaden, of course, how he does with guys out. We saw him with Michael Dieters, a starter last year, so we know he's going to be fine. But to not have your wide receiver 1 in Terry McLaurin and then your number 2 option or number 3 option in Noah Brown, it's tough. It is. And that's why Cliff was complaining like he did on Friday or Thursday, whenever that was. Like, to not have Cosmi, Brandon Coleman, Laramie Tunsil's not playing. So you have 3 starters who are not playing. I mean, that's going to be a lot for anybody. So we know Jaden, he makes guys better. He elevates the team. But it still is going to be a lot for him. But all right, guys, I want to get to a quick word from Chubbies, and then we'll get back to the video. What's good, Commanders fans? I just want to give a quick shout-out to today's sponsor, Chubbies, man. They have a great NFL collection of gear, this dope polo. They also have a black version of this, or a different type of version of Commanders polo on Chubbies.com. They also have swim trunks and shorts, and this has like a really flowy feel to it. Feels like I can work out in this. I feel like I'm a coach on the sidelines. This is how cool. Like, I feel like I'm back in the 80s with this nice design. The W right here and the helmet on the shoulder. I'll show you guys a couple pictures where I wore this polo already. I wore it to an Orioles game, even in Baltimore, they were giving me compliments. That's how dope this polo is. But for a limited time, I want you guys to use my exclusive code Oliver for $10 off at chubbyshorts.com/Oliver. I want to hook you up, guys, with $10 off using my promo code. Also, don't forget this. Chubbies is the ultimate football apparel brand. So much so they created their own fantasy football league. George Kittle, Ian Rappaport, and others have come together to assemble the Chubbies League on NFL Fantasy. Each week, the top 5 scorers will win a chance at a Chubbies polo/shorts combo with their team's logo. The grand champion gets the chance at the ultimate fan experience, a 5-city, 5-stadium NFL game tour with a +1, while the fantasy flop faces a hilarious and unforgettable punishment only Chubbies could pull off. Head to chubbyshorts.com/Chubbies League to learn more and have some fun. Get ready for the most outrageous fantasy football season of your life. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to put the link down below in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the comments as well. For a limited time, our friends at Chubbies are giving my listeners $10 with the promo code Oliver at chubbyshorts.com/Oliver. That's $10 off your order with the promo code Oliver. That includes the NFL collection. So make sure you guys support the channel and make sure you guys get that $10 off using the promo code Oliver so you guys can look cool, dope, flat out, swagged out with this dope polo. Let's get back to the video. Shout out to Chubbies, y'all. Make sure you guys get that polo, man. I'm telling you, that joint is tough. And it's going to look really good for training camp. It's going to look good for game day any day, especially Victory Monday. Like, I'm going to wear it Sunday, put it in the wash. Great joint for Victory Monday. Like, that's a tough polo. I love the design and everything. But, all right, let's get back to the video. So, offensively, my notes for this game, I think Jaden is going to have to run a little bit more than what we want him to because of guys creating separation. Now your number 1 is Debo. Your number 2 is Jalen Lane. Number 3 is Luke McCaffrey. Your number 4 is Chris Moore, and KJ Osborne is your number 5, and then Ja'Cory Brooks. I also actually say Ja'Cory Brooks is your number fourth option, and then after that it's Chris Moore and KJ Osborne is probably the 6th guy. Michael Gallup, I just keep forgetting about Gallup. Gallup's not making a roster, but Gallup is another option, and then it's Big Play Tay and it's Braylon Sanders, and they're not going to get in really until Josh Johnson and Sam Hartman time. So Michael Gallup might not even get reps with Jaden Daniels. You know, I think that's a questionable thing too. So like, I forgot about Michael Gallup, but I think my notes for the preview, I think Jaden may have to run a little bit more than what we want him to, because guys may just not get open. I don't see the Bengals pass rush really going crazy against our offensive line, even though we have guys out. But I think there's, like I said, again, I think he's going to have to run a little bit. Is Cliff going to do any design runs? Maybe one, if that. Of course, you don't want to put him in harm's way, but it's just a part of our offense. So we'll see what they do with that. I know there's going to be a couple of quick hitters, screens, definitely like that. He's probably going to throw a bomb to Debo just to try because it's been working so well in practice. And he'll probably try to cook Cam Taylor-Britt again in this game. So we'll see what happens with that. But offensive line, of course, Josh Connolly at right tackle, Andrew Wiley at left tackle. I think we'll be fine again. Andrew Wiley's played left tackle before. Josh Connolly's a rookie, so there's going to be some growing pains for him. But this is a good matchup for him. Trey Hendrickson's not playing. So once again, I think he'll be fine. Biotis should be starting. And then at right guard, it's going to be Nick Allegretti. At left guard, let me see, who is even going to be our starters at left guard? So it's going to be a right tackle, Connolly, left, Andrew Wiley, Biotis the starter, Allegretti guard, and then Chris Paul is going to be the other guard. So he's going to be our other guard. And then the backup, Trent Scott will be the backup. Julian Good-Jones, another backup. And then Foster Sorrell will be the backup to Andrew Wiley on the left side. Tyree Phillips is on there as well. Bobby Hart is still on the roster too. And they did work out 2 tackles. So they need to sign one of those tackles, whether it's Cam Fleming or the other guy. I forgot his name, whoever they brought in. I think George Fant is his name, who they brought in for the workout. So those are my observations for the offense with Jaden in the offensive line. Of course, Josh Johnson versus Sam Hartman. Looking at that matchup for sure. And then the wide receivers, like who can catch a football? You know, we've seen guys have hands like a snake. Like Chris Moore went out there, literally just dropped the ball in the middle of the field, wide open. Like nobody was really even around him, and he just dropped it from Sam Hartman. And then he dropped the second drop was tough, but you still got to bring that in, especially if you're fighting for a roster and you're a 5, 6, 7 year vet. You're 32 years old. You got to bring that football in. It is what it is. Like, he should have been cut the other day. He should have been cut on Monday. Like, he should not be on the roster right now. Michael Strachan, I'd rather have Michael Strachan on the roster than Chris Moore at this point. Michael Strachan got cut. River Craycraft, whatever, however you pronounce his last name. I'm definitely keeping an eye on him. I think he can make the roster. Right now I have Ja'Cory Brooks as the last receiver to make it. If they keep 6, they could fool around and keep 5 and call it a day. Excuse me. But River Craycraft has played in the league before, has not put up big numbers, but he's made the Dolphins roster a couple times. He did have that nice catch where he mossed Ben St. Juice in the preseason last year. He has scored before in the league. He's familiar with Wes Welker. So River Craycraft, if he plays well Monday night with the second string, third string, whatever unit he plays with, he may get reps with Jaden. We'll see. But River Craycraft, keep an eye on him. He can play. I like him. He hasn't done anything crazy in the league. Don't get me wrong. He's put up like Luke McCaffrey type numbers in the league so far. A little bit better than Luke. But the young man can play. Like, he's a good practice player. He's a good preseason player. Like, there's some guys who are darn good in the preseason. River Craycraft is one of those guys. My prediction is River Craycraft is going to have a good game. Like, out of all the receivers, I think he may have the best performance tomorrow night. I really do. I do like Big Play Tay. I think Big Play Tay is going to make at least 2 catches. I think Braylon may get a chance, if not this game, next game, the third game. Jalen Lane, he's got to get more targets. There's people who think we're hiding him, but give the guy the football. I think Jaden will be able to maximize his talent. Sam and Josh, it is what it is with those guys, but I think Jaden can get the best out of Jalen throughout the season, of course, and tomorrow night. Like, this would be the best chance for Jalen Lane to make an impact offensively other than special teams. I think that would be tomorrow night with Jaden Daniels on the field before the season starts. Luke McCaffrey, I know Linnell called him a bust the other day. So I would just like to see him do something. Like, he had an illness, he left the game. I just want to see something. Show me something. I'm not asking for 50 yards or anything like that. Just give me one catch for 15. I want to see that. I want to see that tomorrow night from Luke McCaffrey. And just move the chains. Just move the chains and be a solid receiver. Debo's Debo, so I want to see him just do one end around with him and then a nice screen or like over the middle and then a deep shot. Like, that's what he's been doing in practice, so I want to see him get the ball down the field too. So moving on from the wide receivers and offensive line, running backs, of course, Bill, McNichols, how many snaps does he get? How many snaps does B-Rob get? And then Austin Eckler, I doubt he plays a lot, but he's listed to play, so I want to see what he does, of course. Like I said, I knew I was going to name everybody, but I do want to see Bill play, of course, and how he looks, because I don't think he's going to start week 1, but if he plays well tomorrow night, and let's say he has like 50 yards rushing and 10 yards receiving or something like that, he does return a kick like they had him in practice and he returns it to the 45-yard line or something like that, or does a Travion Henderson and returns a kickback, then that could definitely put some pressure for them to give him significant snaps, game 1 against the Giants. So that's why I'll leave it on the offensive side of football. Let's transition to the defensive side of the football. Now, the Bengals defense, they struggled against Tanner McKee with the Eagles too, so that's my scout report on them too. Like I said, they should not have a strong pass rush. Shamar Stewart, the rookie, as well, should be playing tomorrow night. They should not have a strong pass rush. I know some of our rotational guys in there instead of the starters on the offensive line, but still, like, we should be able to move the football pretty easily on the and then is Cliff going to do no huddle? Is he going to do quick game? Like, is he going to do the stuff that we normally do? Are we going to go for it on 4th down? Is it 4th and 1 on our own 40 or on their 40? Are we going to go for it? Because we know in a real game, Dan Quinn's going to go for it. And 4th and 3, Dan Quinn's going to go for it. 4th and 4, Dan Quinn's going to go for it. Honestly, he really would. I wouldn't be surprised. But tomorrow night, will he just send Tresway out there? Defense, let's rapid fire through the defensive side of football. Of course, Matt Gay, got to throw him out there. You got to make your kicks, man. Got to make your kicks. If it's anything 50 or below, you got to make your kick. That's what we brought you here for. You're the highest guaranteed 1-year salary guy in history, kicker in history. You got to make your kicks. Cleveland Farrell versus Jalen Holmes for the defensive end spot. I think both make it, but some people are saying that it's a battle between those guys. And since Von Miller's not playing, Javon John Baptiste, unfortunately, not playing, they should be getting a good amount of snaps. Andre Jones Jr., too. Like, I like him, but he probably would be on the practice squad. But he made an impact last game. Johnny Newton, once again, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep pass rushing. Keep getting to the quarterback. Force a fumble again. Or bat down a pass. Just be impactful. Pressures, pass rushing. Stop it, slowing down the run. Kinlaw already named him. Dietrich Wise should be playing. Carl Davis versus Sheldon Day. Both those guys may not make the roster, but I just want to see if they can make an impact out there. TJM, the rugby guy as well. And then obviously Trey Amos versus Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That will be the matchup of the night. That's probably the most anticipated matchup for Commanders fans. Seeing our potentially best cornerback already as a rookie go up against arguably the best receiver in the NFL, and then a top 15 receiver arguably in T. Higgins. You know, those are two dogs. And we saw, like I said, how that matchup went last year. We won that game, but it was an offensive game. It was a shootout. So how does that go with Trey Amos? Does he get called for a pass interference? How are the refs calling the game? Is he physical with them? Does he get in a fight like Marshawn Lattimore would? Just different things like that about the game that I want to see how Trey Amos, if he does get beat, how does he bounce back too? He may give up like a 20-yard pass, but how does he bounce back in the red zone? Does he make a pass deflection in the red zone against Jamar Chase or T. Higgins? So those are the things that I want to look at. Or does he shut him down the whole game in that first quarter? We'll see, because they went crazy on the Eagles defense last week. Marshawn Lattimore should be playing. I love that. I love that with a passion. I want to see how he plays against those guys. As much as I want to see Trey Amos, I want to see Marshawn against those guys. You know, we traded multiple picks for Marshawn. And people want to say, you know, I agree, the hamstring, but, you know, I want to see it, man. I want to see it. I want to see him play well tomorrow night. Even though it's a preseason game, I want to see him play well. Mikey, of course, he struggled against Demario Douglas. So how does he do against the Bengals? Carlin Vidgers could not tackle anybody. And, you know, I'm not going to call him soft, but he got ran over by Antonio Gibson. And then after that, he just didn't want to tackle. So can he bounce back tomorrow night? How does he play? Even though he's not making the roster, I want to see how he plays. Duke Riley is a guy to keep an eye on since Jordan McGee's not playing. Kane Madrano again. How does he play? How does he play against the run? The Bengals have a good run game with Chase Brown if Chase Brown plays. Noah I, keep it up, keep doing your thing. And then Daryl Worley, they just brought him in. And Jeremy Reeves as well, because they've been ranting and raving about Jeremy Reeves. How does he look tomorrow night? Does he get another penalty, or does he clean it up with the hitting? I thought the hit was legal, but how does he tackle? Tyler Owens, you got to tackle better, man. You know, he's gotten so much hype in the preseason with playing with the ones and stuff like that, but he's got to tackle. Excuse me, he's got to tackle. But Daryl Worley, they just brought him in. Bobby Price, I think he's going to play. So they're going to be getting a lot of time. But I do want to see the pass rush. And do they get pressure on Joe Burrow? Do they get pressure on Joe Burrow? Because the Bengals' offensive line is decent, but they do give up a lot of pressures. But Joe Burrow, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because he's just so good and their receiving core is so good and they get open for him. So I just want to see that. So those are the things I'm looking for, guys. You guys let me know. I tried to name as much as I could. Jalen Lane in the punt return game. Kaz Allen in the punt return game as well. River Kraft has returned punts before too. So does he return a punt or two in the fourth quarter? But tackling's going to be huge, and rush defense is going to be huge, man. We gave up an 18-yard rush to Travion Henderson and Larry Izzo. I'm looking right at you. I'm looking at you right in the eyes. It's almost like the Michael Irvin meme where he's like, what are you going to do today? You know, nobody believes in you right now. You know, I forgot how it goes, but it's like when he's on NFL Network and he's like, I'm not nervous, I'm just saying. You know, that kind of thing. He's like, I gotta play. I might actually put the clip at the end because he's like, nobody believes in you. What are you gonna do about it? And I'm looking at Larry Izzo like that with special teams because that was just a disrespectful performance. Like no pride, no dignity, no tackling. Yes, you can argue that was a hole, but of course they're not gonna call that in New England for the Travion Henderson 100-yard kickoff return, and then Antonio Gibson runs for another 50, 60-yard return. Like that was terrible, Larry Izzo. That was terrible. And I know it's not just him. The guy's got to tackle. And then Matt Gay misses the kick. So special teams was an F. It was an F- last week. And we lost a few games. We only lost 5 games last year, but we lost one against the Cowboys because the kicker missed the kick. And then Kevontae Turpin returns a kickback. So we need you guys to step up on special teams. So, but all right, I'm going to wrap it up there and end it. That is about it, guys. If you guys think I missed anything, please let me know. And I know people overreacted last week talking about Joe Wood Jr. because the defense was bad last week. So we'll see. I wouldn't evaluate Joe Wood Jr. after this game. I just would not do that. But all right, you guys. As always, make sure Commanders Kings, make sure you guys get your tickets. Link is down below in the description. Don't forget about that, guys. As always, Hell Commanders. Have a great Sunday. Peace.